Alright guys, this is it. The last part of Tales of Arise. I finally beat it! I just want to let you guys know that I had to do a lot of heavy editing because most of this video is me in the dungeon crawling. So I kind of had to skip out on a lot of fights just to get to the main points of it. So with that said guys, hope you enjoy this and let's not keep you guys waiting any longer. Here we go! Alright guys, this is it. I finally made it to the last half of this area, and I think this is the final boss battle. Could be wrong, but I'm fairly certain this is gonna be it. So here we go.
What do you think this place was for? Ah!
What the hell? Are they asleep?
No. They appear to be well preserved. However, they are all dead.
Dead? So this is a mass grave?
Looks that way. However, none of them appear to be Helganquil.
Bear in mind that Renans were originally Danans, who were remade and sent to live on Lenegis. Knowing that, they would have needed a place to perform the procedures somewhere.
And that place is here, I assume.
So what you're saying is that all of these are Danan, or rather, Renan bodies?
Most likely, yes. It must have been abandoned for one reason or another.
There are so many of them. They were all taken away, but never given the chance to wake.
Alright, so I figured if I go any further... Alright, let's just do it.
What is that thing?
Something we have to fight if we want to get across, it seems.
Be careful! It's huge! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! The hell was that thing?
Probably something that was made here and somehow managed to survive, even after all this time. Not that there's any way of knowing now.
What's wrong?
Oh, I just suddenly found myself contemplating what might have happened to the sovereigns that were meant to emerge from the crown contests.
What do you mean?
You see, the winners of the past crown contests were all strong astral arts practitioners. Furthermore, that enemy we just fought appeared to be composed of several human bodies. It was certainly nothing one would find in nature.
You're saying those were the remains of the winners? That they forgot who they once were?
I'm merely saying it's a possibility.
That's absolutely gruesome. How long had the Helganquil been at this?
It was Rena's great spirit that made them do all of this. Anything to get its astral energy.
We're not gonna jump down, right?
I certainly hope not.
After hearing Dohalim's suggestion, I'm honestly not sure what to say.
I assure you all, I was merely stating the possibility.
Alright, we're nearly dead, and I need to save, but also, I'm hoping there's another, healing point so I can just save my items.
So, looks like the Helganquil have been engineering Zeugles too. Why doesn't that surprise me at this point?
The creatures we've been encountering here have been a little different to what we're used to fighting, but I'm pretty sure they're Zeugles too.
Do you think they were engineered using creatures native to the area?
Indeed. However, based on the current circumstances, I would guess these Zeugles are all that's left of the planet's fauna now.
You mean there might have been native owl species here once upon a time too?
Alright, I honestly thought this was gonna be the final battle, but we're probably like midway through. Who knows? Alright, so we're at the surface, Gegum Helgarahi, and then...
We're back in that other room? Did the teleporter fail or something?
Something feels off about it.
Look! Everything's upside down!
The furnishings are, at least. No, you're right. The whole room's flipped on its head.
So what was once down is now up, and vice versa. I suppose the teleporter reversed our orientation then.
Alright, so we finally got a fast travel point, which is a good thing. We're clearly in dire need of that. Alright, what's that mean for us? Oh, thank you. Alright guys, I'll be right back. I'm gonna see if I can get myself some more healing items, all the good stuff, and probably, if I can, forge some more new weapons. Be right back. Alright guys, I made it just a bit further in. There's a much larger map now that we've proceeded further. I ended up getting some supplies again from back at Lenegus, and decided to go on further. And it turns out there was another guardian guarding this area, and I took him out. So we're just gonna keep going.
What are those? They look like Shion's thorns, and with flowers too.
Not real ones though. They're just like that flower growing out of Rena.
We must be getting close to the Great Spirit now.
Hey, Rinwell, what was that thing you said about how a little bit of Dana's Great Spirit is inside all of us?
Right. That's why Dana's Great Spirit is so much more diluted. Weak even. Whether it was a choice so it didn't overpower others, or just the way it is anyone's guess.
If that's true, then wouldn't it mean Dana's will could never form under natural conditions?
Yeah, sounds like that's probably the case.
So if Dana exists within all of us, then what if something occurred that brought everyone's hearts and minds together as one? That unity could potentially act as Dana's will.
You mean if everybody was, like, thinking the exact same thing at the exact same time? Come on, there's no way we could pull that off.
I know it's a long shot, but it might work.
Let's assume that's even possible for a second. Would it even be enough to fight back against Rena's Great Spirit?
If nothing else, it might be an option if we can't use the Renasalma.
Things are different here than on the surface.
That shows how deeply we've ventured into Rena.
And how close we've come to the real enemy.
Finding the Renus Alma.
So here's a question. We came all this way to Rena on the assumption the Renus Alma's here, right?
Don't say it, Law.
Yeah, but I'm just saying...
I said don't.
I can understand why you might be concerned, Law. But you need to remember that there are people it affects more directly than you.
Oh, sorry.
We've managed to make it this far believing. Losing faith now won't do us any good. We're better off focusing our anxiety elsewhere.
Such as?
The Great Spirit. If Hevrecht 35's to be believed, our enemy won't just be handing over the Renis Alma to us. At least, not without a fight.
Not only that, but that same enemy just gulped down more than an entire world's worth of astral energy.
Point taken. It may be strange to say, but when I'm fighting, or at least know what needs to be done, it helps me a lot. I don't doubt myself as much. So thanks, both of you.
And of course, with age comes wisdom.
The floor's on the ceiling and the ceiling's on the floor. This whole thing's making my head spin. Why would they even do something like this?
The Helganquil can bend life forms to suit their will. Nothing they could do at this point would surprise me.
The ceiling is on the floor. That doesn't weird you out?
What good is a team made up of members who all share the same opinions on everything? And besides, when you get to be at my ripe old age, one begins to consider it quite uncouth to show one's true emotions at times.
Oh, come on, Grandpa. You can't be that old.
The sands of time wait for none of us, lad.
Yeah, we'll see. Though at this rate, I guess I'll have to live long enough to get as old as you first, huh?
You will. And when the time comes, I look forward to hearing you change your tune on the matter.
Okay, so here's my plan, guys. I plan on doing the usual. I'm just gonna eventually cut to the main point, like when we reach the final leg of this area, and then I'll continue on recording from there. But for now, I'm just gonna save you guys the trouble of me constantly facing off against these enemies, and we'll be back.
The astral energy here is so dense. It's like trying to walk through water.
I know the Great Spirit's will is in the center of Rena, but with the world in this state, the entire planet has become its body, right? So doesn't that mean we're already inside it?
I would say that is horrifyingly correct. After all, the further we climb, the denser the astral energy becomes.
What's the matter, Rinwell? Are you not feeling all right?
No, it's nothing like that. It just feels like the energy here is a little more intense than it was before.
You mean Rena's energy?
Yeah, it's like when I made contact with Dana's will in the wedge. It's almost as though I can understand what Rena's will is thinking.
But Rena's will is supposed to be a lot stronger. Aren't we risking the Great Spirit controlling us if we interact with it directly?
I don't think we have to worry about that. Rena's will is only supposed to control true Renans, like the Helganquil. If we can discern what the Great Spirit is thinking too, we might learn something, a weakness. But just to be safe, let me contact it alone.
Are you insane? Rinwell, you're gonna...
Linwell!
There was only meant to be one world. And your goal is to make them one. Is this fear? What just happened?
Are you all right? Rinwell? Rinwell, are you okay?
No, I'm fine. I think.
What were you thinking? You could have gotten yourself killed!
He's right. You had us all terrified, Rinwell.
I'm sorry. I really am. But I know now. I know how the Great Spirit thinks. I know what it wants, how it feels. Rena's great spirit wants to complete the world.
What's that supposed to mean? Are you saying it's trying to make something?
Yes, exactly. Originally, Dana and Rena were meant to be one world. But that never happened. They've stayed separated, and the Great Spirit wants to finish the process.
What do you mean, one world? How is that even possible?
I don't know, but its will is clear. That's what the Great Spirit is trying to accomplish. The only problem is that since Rena's energy isn't evenly spread like Dana's, it seems like it'll vanish before that happens naturally.
So it's trying to absorb Dana while it still can, so that it can force the two planets to unite. Is that what you're saying?
The Great Spirit is scared. But it's not scared the way a rational person would be. It's more raw and undiluted, like just pure fear.
Like an animal, acting out of instinct. Although admittedly, an animal would be easier to communicate with. At the very least, I have my doubts that it recognizes us as sentient beings with a reason for coming here. Earth, water, fire, and wind energy exist in both worlds, but only darkness and light can be found within Rena and Dana, respectively. The Renis Alma, as far as we know, the only host capable of harvesting the astral energy, is composed of all six. Knowing all that, Rinwell's findings do sound plausible.
That sounds a lot like Shion's thorns, doesn't it? The whole reason the Great Spirit is trying to unite Dana and Rena into one world is in order to save itself. And if her thorns are part of the Great Spirit, then they must also be trying to save themselves?
Alphen, what is it?
We thought the only way to free your thorns was for you to die. Yet despite that, they seem to be doing everything in their power to stop that from happening to you. Something wasn't adding up. But then I just realized something. If the Great Spirit doesn't want to die, then neither would your thorns. Those same emotions, that fear, that determination, and its energy must have been the same thing that was keeping you alive. You were its vessel.
In that case, is that why her thorns caused so much pain to anyone who touched her? Because they were trying to protect themselves?
If that's all true, then... well, it's more than a little ironic.
The Great Spirit merely expresses its desires. I imagine it was the Helganquil who were likely tasked with putting together and implementing an actual plan.
Shion.
I'm okay. We need to hurry and clean this mess up before it gets out of hand.
Still, even if the current state of the world is wrong like you said, does that really make everything okay?
If the world had been whole from the start, as it should have been, there'd be no Dana and no Rena, no masters or slaves, no lords, no crown contest, maybe just peace.
To think, all this started because of the Great Spirit's desire to keep living. The only reason it craves energy is because it's dying from starvation. When you think about it like that, maybe the things it's done aren't so strange after all.
If Rena had been more like Dana, things would have worked out a whole lot better.
It's like Hevrecht 35 told us. The Danan and Renan spirits are meant to be completely different beings.
Rena's energy amassing in one place led to its developing a powerful will. But that also made it crave energy, sapping Rena dry until it perished.
Whereas Dana's energy is dispersed, meaning its will never developed to the same extent. And without that hunger, Dana the planet was spared.
As for which is correct, well, I'm not sure it's our place to even say. Still, I can't help but think it reminds me a lot of the dichotomy of the human condition.
Dichotomy? What do you mean?
Those who know not satisfaction are driven to keep devouring without limit. But those who are content with their lot in life rarely fulfill their potential. I imagine it's likely that the larger Rena's great spirit grew, the more and more powerful its hunger also became.
Everything in moderation. When all's said and done, maybe that's the hardest thing for people to learn.
Alright, I think we're pretty much near the halfway point now. I would assume anyway. Let me just super save this because that was a lot to take in. Alright everyone, after quite a bit, I finally managed to make it to this point called the Astral Energy Convergence Zone, which is pretty much, I would assume, I've been assuming a lot by the way guys, that this is like the final point, because prior to me even getting to this area here, it was blocked off because I had to face off against 6 bosses. Technically, I only had to face off against the water astral energy boss for this door to unlock over here. But the rest were optional, and I figured each of these bosses over here would give me more astral flowers, but that was not the case. But they did give me armor. So, here we go guys. Let's see what this part entails.
A dead end, huh?
Why don't we just use this?
Wait!
Jeez! Don't scare me like that! What, is there something wrong with it?
No, it's not that. It's just, this is it. Whatever it is, we're about to find out.
It's the moment of truth. There's no turning back now till we've won. Either we get through this, or we vanish along with the rest of the world as we know it. Is everyone ready?
We've come this far. I'm not about to turn tail now. I say we knock this thing out and head back home.
It's time to relegate the past to where it belongs. It's been a long journey getting here, but it ends now.
No, this isn't the end. Once we've overthrown the old order, there's still the task of creating a new world.
A world without divisions, where no one cares whether you're Danon or Renan, or if you have magic or not. You're right. We have to win this.
Let's get going then. After all, our future awaits.
Our future. One free of tyranny and exploitation. For the freedom to live with those we hold dear. And for a new era. Let's go!
Also, this is it. Okay. Alright, if that's the case, we're gonna save this bad boy. And we'll go from there. Let's do this. Uh-oh. Why don't you proceed at this point? There's no turning back.
Hold on. Are we on that giant flower?
We're finally here then.
But then, where is the core of the Great Spirit? Or the Renaissance, for that matter?
According to Hevrek 35, this should be where we find the core.
Rinwell, do you sense anything?
This is definitely where the energy of the Great Spirit is strongest, but what's giving off the most energy is the flower we're standing on.
That said, we're not gonna be able to destroy something this huge. You want me to hit it and see what happens?
Hey, look!
The Renaissance!
Is that light Dana's astral energy? But why?
What?
Stay sharp! Something's coming!
What is this?
It wants us gone. It has so much anger. All of its fear has evolved into hatred.
So then, you're saying that this is the Great Spirit's core?
And in order to fight us, it's taken on this form?
My thorns. I feel them whirling inside me. They're getting restless. I'm certain of it. This is the source of my thorns, and of my visions. This is the darkness that will consume all existence.
What do we do now? The Renaissance is inside that thing, and I don't think we'll win this fight without it.
We have to get it back. We will find a way somehow.
Agreed. And now that it has a physical form, cutting through it's what we'll do.
Great Spirit, we understand you want to live. You've made that very clear. However, if you're planning on destroying everything, then first, you'll have to get through us. Everyone, let's go!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
After all that, it's still standing. Just how strong is this thing?
It doesn't matter. We just have to keep kicking its ass until it bites the dust.
The Great Spirits!
Damn, must have been conserving its energy for an escape.
That bastard took off with the Renaissance!
We can't stand here and wait for it to come back. We'll have to follow it through there.
You're right. I don't like it, but we've got no choice.
Yeah. No matter what, we can't let it get away.
All right, let's go.
Ah! I'm surprised we can stand here at all. What in the hell is this place?
Beats me. I've never seen anything like it. More importantly, where's the Great Spirit?
Look! Over there!
What in the world? It's changing shape?
Oh, this is bad. It looks like it's regaining all of its energy. It's going to grow even bigger than before.
Damn it! Come on, we've got to find a way to...
Watch out! Something's heading our way!
Guess they're here to try to stop us. There's so many of them.
That means we've got it running scared. Let's take these out and keep moving! In an instant! Impact Drop!
Brace yourselves! We're going to crash!
We caught up to it.
Hold on. Why did it stop absorbing the energy from Dana?
Like it or not, it lacks the means to do so whilst fighting us. We've become the bigger threat and forced its hand.
All right then. Let's get to work so we can take back the Renis Alma.
This is it!
This ends now!
Alphen!
Yeah! We're both fine. We're going to start the ceremony now, before it can recover. Xion.
Yeah.
I've returned, just as I told you I would.
Hurry! The Great Spirit is reviving itself!
Xion! Absorbing the Great Spirit!
Apologies. I can't suppress it for very long.
Hand it over right now. You plan to use this to defeat the Great Spirit. Which is precisely why I'm here. Stand aside and watch. So then you know. You know how to destroy the Great Spirit. Just as well as you and your sorry lot. The Great Spirit that tried to control me will be annihilated. I won't let you do that! Yet do it I shall. And there's nothing you can do to stop me. You bastard! I shall fulfill my duty as a ruler. With this power, I'll bury that woman and the Great Spirit. Then this charade will finally end. Save everyone. And Xion!
I should have known he would come back.
Silence. I'll tear you apart, slay the girl and the Great Spirit, and erect a fortress
why'd I do
of
that?
death over both worlds. What do you get from all this? When you have all that power, what will you do? My dominion shall reign over all existence.
Can't move.
Nothing else matters. That's it? This is so you can rule over all existence just because? Despicable as they were, even the other lords, even the Great Spirit had a future in mind. But you have nothing. Only death. So what? It matters little to me. You are pathetic. Truly pathetic. And you're not. You are a failure. Empty. A sovereign who couldn't even die in his own time as he was meant.
Alright, do I have any good items on me? Not a lot of good. Not a lot of good at all. Oh yeah, I'm gonna need that elixir.
You're right. I used to wonder why I was still alive after so long. But there are things in this world, in the here and now, that are worth protecting. That's why I'm still here. And I won't let you take them away! I flew away!
Got
Take
you.
this! Strike! To hell! The flame inside me yearns to be let free! Burn in hell! Why do you resist? Dare!
Okay, keep doing this. Doing this.
Dragon Swarm! The fury of lightning! My turn! Blow away! No escape! It's on! Dazzle! Not today! Vacuum Blades! Dragon Swarm! Eternal Devastation! You will beg me for
Oh, no.
mercy!
Oh, no.
Flee! Enough of your foolishness! Ignite!
Guy's trying to get me with his mystic arts. No, no, no. Uh-oh. Cut it out.
I'll destroy you! All shall bow before me! Accept your...
I mean,
could do without
don't get
pain.
caught.
Take this!
I don't have a lot of, At this point, it doesn't matter, right?
There! The flame inside me yearns to be let free! Not today, Sovereign! You are nothing! Vacuum Blades! You control others to keep from being controlled, but that's a path of never-ending hatred! Don't you understand? It can only end in destruction. The only way to avoid it is with forgiveness! The words of a coward. Your weakness disgusts me. You're wrong. It takes true power to forgive!
I have no use for forgiveness. The strong shall always triumph here.
You say that because you've been alone
What
so
on
long.
earth is he?
If you had someone, anyone to turn to, a single
Also, now I'm using the blade now.
someone to love, people who would support and guide you. You can't have been alone your whole life. All I remember is the lashes of whips.
What am I doing?
Each strike spreading a skein of fire across my back. The masters who
Don't
killed
die.
slaves for sport.
Wait, I have no health?
And the slaves who sacrificed their compatriots that they might live. There is
Oh,
no love,
that's great.
no friendship.
Let me use
not
it.
there or anywhere else. Is there no way for you to do this differently? Enough! You gamble the fate of this world to save a single life, and yet I am the
Let me
evil
think
one?
properly, though.
How utterly ridiculous. It's true. Maybe it is selfish of me to want to save her, but I swore that I would let no one else be sacrificed in this battle. I can't bear to see her die. You and I are so much more alike than I had ever imagined. No, we're not. I want a world built on kindness,
Oh, no.
on giving, on warmth. You take and destroy. I'm nothing like you.
Take it! It's on! Not today! I'm not done! I am the true Shaman! All others shall be banished! Try harder! Now! You're mine! Try harder! Now!
The blazing sword. The power Shion has bestowed upon me.
I'll take you down! Burn in hell! The flame inside me yearns to
Holy
behold
cow.
nothing back! Explosive ring! It's over! You are the last obstacle impeding my progress! Die! That's my line! I'll show you the limits of your solitude!
What you've done is evil. There's no denying that. I know you didn't walk your path out of weakness, but merely from misguided strength. Misguided because you were alone. Because you had no friends to keep you on the straight and narrow. No one to use all that strength for, other than yourself. That loneliness could make a monster out of anyone. Out of me. I understand. And I forgive you, Volrun. I don't need your victor's pity. And you can choke on your vain forgiveness. Don't! You wish to save this world? To make your selfish dreams into reality? If you choose to walk that path, you choose a path of betrayal, despair, and corruption. And in the darkness at the end, I'll be waiting for you! Volrun! I'm sorry. The Renaissance is...
Yes. You still possess the blazing sword. It may not be quite as strong as the Renis Alma, but nonetheless...
I can't. I would never. It would kill you!
My thorns, they're... Soon the great astral spirit will break free. And when that happens, no one will be spared. But there's still time. You can still destroy the thorns. And me with them.
That's exactly what we've been fighting to prevent. I promised I would find a way to save you.
You did. I know. But I don't want you to die either. So please, don't let me be the end of the world.
That's it. Look! The path Dana's energy flowed through is still open. We can use it to call out to Dana's will!
Alphen, what are you saying?
Don't you remember? Rinwell said there was a little bit of Dana's will inside all of us. If there is a way everyone can come together to form Dana's will, then maybe we can ask for it to help us, to find us a way out of this.
Are you really saying that if all of Dana thinks of saving us, it will become the will of the planet itself? That's madness.
Maybe so, but it's the only way we can save you. And the only way to save Rena, too.
To save Rena?
That's right. Rena's will never had evil intent. If we're saving everyone, that includes them. I don't want to live in a world without you, Xion. And I'm tired of living a life built on death.
Alphen, I'm with you.
Collective will of Dana, hear my plea! I want to save Xion! And I want to save Rena too! I want to end this cycle of one joy, constantly being sacrificed for another's pain! So please, grant us your strength!
Alright, so unfortunately guys, I had to cut off the sound from here due to a copyrighted song being played in the background. So as you know, them's the breaks. But at the very least, there's no dialogue from here on in. In fact, the game pretty much ends after this point. And so I can just tell y'all right now that this game has been something. It was a long game, to tell you the truth. I feel like this has been like the longest Tales game I played yet. Maybe Vesperia and Abyss were a little bit longer, or maybe the same length. I don't know. It's been a while since I last played those games. But as of recently, it felt like this game has had like the longest length so far. Another thing was I felt like they could have paced the skits a little bit better, so that it's not like all bunched up together like right after every particular point in the game, because I always had to just get it out of the way. If anything, I didn't want to miss out on any important skit. So there's that. But otherwise, gameplay was fun. In fact, it improved upon the previous Tales, of course, and I enjoyed that very much. Otherwise, guys, like the final boss and all that, I pretty much expected Varon to show up again because they didn't showcase his body and whatnot. So I'm not surprised on that point. Everything else from here on, it's been a blast, guys. It's been a lengthy journey, but it's been an amusing one at that. So I enjoyed it. I can't wait for the next Tales games to, whatever next one they come out with for the next gen console, if anything. So with that said, guys, thank you all again for watching and supporting. And as usual, until the next one.
Let's go!